Okay. Thank you, Adam. I am not sure that the participants can hear you. I hope they can hear me. Since we spoke last Sunday, the governor has issued 6 new emergency orders. The ones that came out today are, there are 3 new emergency orders today. The first allows for temporary authorization for takeout and delivery of beer and wine by restaurants. Emergency order number 7 allows for temporary modification of data and privacy governance plans. And I'm sure that's something that you will speak about because that does directly affect the school. Access to telehealth services. This will ensure that Granite Staters have access to and the providers because they can access medical care without being in the same room. Yesterday, there were 3 emergency orders that were enacted, and the second emergency order prohibited, well, that took place earlier, prohibiting gatherings of more than 50 people and restricts restaurants. There are also emergency orders to put a hold on any kinds of evictions or foreclosures, as well as an emergency order to allow people to access unemployment benefits immediately. It will waive the 1-week waiting period, and I'm encouraging people who are in a position of having lost or reduced wages or eliminated wages to take action immediately and apply for those benefits. I think that this, as I've said before, is a rapidly changing situation. There will be other issues that we will contend with. I know that a number of people have asked, there are questions about childcare and what the state may do to encourage or to help people who need to provide childcare or receive childcare. That is being considered. The Senate is working to develop plans so that we can do that. I have received a little bit of pushback on some of the emergency orders, and I am elevating those questions. I know that a number of people I've called to find out what the circumstances are if there's an emergency situation where someone would need to be removed from a dwelling. So I have called the AG's office to ask that question, as well as questions about different state issues, including more guidance on right to know and the timeliness of certain applications that are being put forward. So with that, I will invite anyone to reach out to me. I'm happy to field questions that have to do with state issues. I'll field questions. If I don't have the answer, I will seek the answer and I will get back to people as soon as possible. So, thank you.
Very good. I think my audio is fixed, and if people can hear me, then we're going to go to Peter Lyon next for the town of Amherst. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. I can hear you now. I'm just going to make a couple of brief remarks, and then I'd like to turn it over to Dean Schenkel, who's sitting beside me. I want to say thank you to everybody involved. I want to say, in particular, thank you to our employees, our department heads, our partners at the state government level, our state reps and senators, as well as people at the state level departments, all of whom I have found are working very well together, working very hard to tackle some of these questions, which in a different setting might seem like minutia, but in this setting, they turn into something very important to us. So I want to say thank you to all of those people. We are working very hard to continue our responsibilities as a town to meet the needs of our citizens, our residents. But we also acknowledge the fact that part of our responsibility is to take care of our employees, to make sure that our employees are safe, and to keep our residents safe as well. And that means cutting back in some areas. You'll hear from Dean changes we've made at the town hall level in terms of service and whatnot. But I think we'll be able to still meet the needs of our residents while at the same time looking out for their safety. So again, thank you very much for everyone. My computer over so that Dean can speak.
Everyone, I'm glad to be here, and once again, thanks, Adam. I would like to start with a reminder to the public that the town has a public assistance program designed to help people with emergency needs. And just to let people know, if this pandemic is creating any emergency needs or temporary financial distress, please call Town Hall and we'll do what we can do to help. Now for the update, I'm sure you've heard this before and you'll undoubtedly be hearing it again. Things are changing at a rapid pace. There was an hour-and-a-half conference call today that included people from Homeland Security, Department of Safety, the Attorney General's office, and more. They rolled out new information and they changed and clarified things that were announced on Monday. So things are changing. There is another call tomorrow that I'm going to talk a little bit about later, and then another on Friday. So things continue to come in. Regarding the situation here at Town Hall, Peter mentioned, the Board of Selectmen had an emergency meeting on Monday afternoon. They made several decisions regarding how to address the COVID-19 situation, but realized it's fluid and that there will be continued changes. Some of what I'll be discussing came out of that meeting, and some are steps that the staff has taken to be discussed further with the board at their next meeting on Monday. At the present time, we're trying to minimize person-to-person contact and continue to serve our residents. So we are presently adjusting our procedures. In order to determine the quickest way to receive service, please go to our website at amherstnh.gov. First, there are a number of things that you can do online, from car registrations to licensing dogs, applying for building permits. Please do anything online that you can. That will help the whole situation. Second, if you're not sure what you can do online, there's a phone number for each department on the website. So please email or call that department that's responsible. We're asking everybody to not show up at Town Hall without calling first. We're presently staggering employees that some are working on site, some are working remotely. If you show up, the person you may want to see may not be available. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of that later as we go down through this. And as you'll see when you go to the website, especially at the town clerk's area, we have made arrangements so that you can drop some material off at a Dropbox so that you don't need to interface with personnel. So we're working on that. Regarding scheduling town board, commission, and committee meetings and other meetings that might have been planned, the town health officer is recommending to the Board of Selectmen that they comply with the CDC's new guidance of no more than 10 people gathering together. The board will be addressing this on Monday night, and obviously this will impact upcoming meetings. The other thing, and I mentioned the Attorney General set up a conference call for tomorrow to address the right to know as it applies to meetings. So we may see some tweaks there that will allow us to do more meetings online. So that would be helpful. Now I just want to hit some of the things that you'll find on the website that I think are particularly important. We talked a little bit about it last time, but the Amherst Town Library is closed until April 6th. The meeting room use has been suspended till June 1st, and obviously, like everything else, that's liable to change as we go forward. The Amherst Police Department is asking asking all residents with non-emergency requests for service or police advice to do it via telephone in their non-emergency line. They'll try to handle your call. Obviously, if you have an emergency, a person will, or an officer will respond, but to the degree that we can, once again, avoid personal contact, we're trying to do that. Amherst Fire Department, the same thing. The building is now closed to the public. Fire prevention tours are gathering outside the buildings are suspended. Drive-up, walk-in medical calls will be handled with the ambulance and crew going out of the building to meet them, to try to keep the building as clean as possible. I talked about what we're doing at Town Hall. The town clerk, she's setting it up, and we need to talk to we're going to work out some of these details with the selectmen on Monday night, but she is only going to be open for new registrations and transfer appointments. So if you have something to do that you can't do online, like new registrations, please call and make an appointment. She wanted to remind people that the governor has authorized the extension of all temporary plates issued after March 1st to go through April 30th, so they're not 20-day plates anymore, they're whatever. But once again, please call ahead because they're trying to minimize contact. We have, people in our offices that, some of us have been doing this for a long time, so we're in the high risk category, right? Same thing with planning and zoning. Please utilize online services. You can do your permits and fees and all that's online. The building inspector, based on guidance they're getting from the Building Code Association, there's a temporary field inspection policy where all building inspections must be scheduled directly with the inspector. So you need to directly call the inspector, and a minimum 48 hours request is required to schedule inspections. Assessing and tax collecting office, 90% of what you need from them is available online. Some of you may know that we did have in the lobby down there, we had a computer and some maps and stuff where people could come in and look at the assessing records. We've removed those. We couldn't keep them clean. There were people come in and they sit there and do whatever they're gonna do. So we removed those for the time being so that it was kind of an attractive nuisance. So we tried to get rid of that. The recreation department, as you know, all recreation programs are canceled or postponed until at least April 3rd. For any class that already started, they're giving prorated refunds, but all this information is on their website. But that's they are going to do some online things. So if you're looking for things, if your kids are out of trying to set some things up online that families can do together and that are educational, so you might want to go to the town website for that. Let's see. I guess that's. Oh, one last thing that's important is the Amherst transfer station, and this the selectmen talked about on Monday night. Recycling is suspended at the transfer station until the COVID-19 social distancing restrictions are lifted. In other words, you're going to bring stuff to the transfer station now. You don't need to separate it. It's all going to go in the same place because of the time and effort, the interaction that we had both between the residents as they were recycling and the residents and the people. So the recycling part is done. There'll still be the pay-as-you-throw items. We'll still be taking those. But the suspension of recycling is sort of a big deal, and we hope that that doesn't need to last very long. One last item I want to say isn't directly related to the town, but it's related to the town, but it's actually was the Amherst Junior Women's Club Easter egg hunt that was set to use the town common on April 4th for their Easter egg hunt. They have canceled that, and they wanted us to let people know. So that's all I have right now, but this is a very fluid situation. Most people are cooperating, which is a good thing, and I think they'll continue to do that. And I think that we're all trying. I just want you to know that town employees are trying the best they can. They really want to make sure that they can continue to provide you services. But, you know, once again, if people are packed down there pretty tightly, if one of them gets sick, all of them are going to be out. So we're going to try to minimize the possibility of that happening for any number of reasons. So once again, thank you, Adam, and thank you folks for coming to this. And certainly if you have any questions, feel free to call me.
Great, thank you, Dean. And next to Kim Roberge, Selectman for the town of Mount Vernon. Kim.
Adam, thanks again. Though we're trying at the Selectman's office to get as much out to our residents, this certainly helps. With me today, or speaking after me, is the Emergency Management Director for the town of Mount Vernon, Chief Furlong. We're going to try not to go over the same things. As Amherst has stated, and you have stated, that, you know, it's changing every day and fluid. The selectmen did meet on Monday night, and with the input from the chief, as well as from our health officer and other department heads, we've made some pretty drastic changes like other towns. We are only doing things by appointments. The town clerk's office is closed and locked up. The town hall is closed and locked up. You'll have to call the town offices in order to set an appointment so that we can limit the exposure to the employees. We are leaving at the town hall, though there are people there Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3 and Fridays 9 to noon. The ability for people to drop off building permits if they can't be sent via online, or any questions such as that. But that all can be sent to townofmontvernon@comcast.net. The library went to curbside pickup. There will be nobody allowed to go into the library building based on the size of it in the contained space and following the guidelines. But our library staff and librarians certainly want to make sure that people being in situations where they can't get out or do all the things, or even the kids, that we're making those materials available. So you can contact them at 673-7888, or send them an email, and they will reserve something for you and put it outside for you to pick up during the time. The transfer station, the same similar thing as to what Amherst is doing. There was an SRLD meeting last night. We put into place on Monday evening that we would not be doing any recycling, that everything would be going down the chute to limit the exposure to the people working there. We are not accepting any items that have to be paid to drop off. We're hoping that people can hold them for a little bit. If something needs to be done, then we want you to call the town offices to be able to see if that can be accommodated. And again, it's the safety of our employees that we're looking for, as well as the public safety. We also have canceled all town-sponsored events until further notice. The Easter egg hunt, the spring gala, the fishing derby that's put on by the highway department. Those are things that, based on what's being stated to us, that there's not enough time for planning, and also from a safety standpoint, so we've put a stop to those. I guess from the select board's office, the chief should be able to address the emergency services aspect of it. But if there are any questions, the selectman's office can be reached at 673-6080. As Mr. Schenkel said, all of this information is available on the town website as well, with the direct numbers to the town clerk. There's the number to the health officer, to the welfare officer, in case there's from a need standpoint. The last time that we had this forum, I addressed that Mount Vernon is fortunate enough to have a neighbor-to-neighbor program that can be reached as well, because we know that this is trying times for families. So again, thank you for the opportunity. I know everybody continues to say this, you know, we're hoping that we're not overreacting. We're looking out for the safety of the townspeople and the people that work there, and trying to do the best we can to govern the body of the town and continue things moving forward as best can be. We are looking at doing for our selectmen's meeting, possibly a freeconference.com or something such as Zoom to be able to hold our meetings as well. There's been no determination on that as yet. So I will turn it over to Chief Furlong now. And again, thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Just to reiterate upon some of the things that were spoken about by Selectman Roberge, all town buildings are closed to the public. You can go to the town website or to our social media or the police department's website in order to get all the phone numbers to contact the department that you're looking to speak with. Each department head is implementing a policy to best serve the community and the town of Mount Vernon, how they can still offer services that are available to them. So please reach out to them directly because they are implementing new plans. So please research those telephone numbers. Don't just show up because even the police department building is closed and locked. Some of the emergency services aspect to hit upon. We are in regular contact with Homeland Security and Emergency Management, Department of Health and Human Services, and all the other entities up in Concord that are working on this, which is where a lot of the information is coming from. We will get that out to the community, but as emergency services, in order to protect our employees and not have to take them off the road for quarantining, we have reduced some of the types of calls to service that we'll be offering. The police department at this time is not offering fingerprinting services. They are not offering VIN verification services. We are looking just to reduce the amount of face-to-face contact. In addition, while we usually love to get out and interact with the community to form the relationships, a lot of the calls that have been handled in person before will now be handled over the telephone, just so that we can, like I said, eliminate a lot of the face-to-face contacts. So please call the business line and we will be sure to get you back and get back to you and handle what we can. And in addition, for the fire department is discontinuing the issuance of all fire permits. They will not be issuing fire permits at this time in order to reduce the amount of interaction between employees and those seeking the permits. However, the main thing to focus on is that if there is an emergency, we will still be responding just like we always have to emergency scenarios. So if there is an emergency, please dial 911. Police or fire or EMS will be there. We may be in a little bit more protective gear and asking a few more questions before we respond relative to any flu-like symptoms, relative to travel, those types of things, as everybody is. But we will be responding in order to assist the community the best that we can. As things change, we will adapt our policies and our procedures to go with it, and we'll make sure that we reach out to the community to let you know what those changes are going to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we're going to hear from Chris Johnson from Share Outreach in Milford. Chris.
Hey, thank you, Adam. I just want to remind folks that Share is there to help any residents of Mount Vernon or Amherst who have a need. Our food pantry is fully stocked with dairy, including milk and eggs, which I hear are hard to find, meat, produce, non-perishables, health and beauty items, including toilet paper. We also have diapers of all sizes or anything else you might need for your baby, like formula, baby food, wipes. If you have special dietary needs or other needs, we can probably give you a voucher to a local store for you to purchase those yourself. Please reach out if you have a need. Everything is completely confidential. We understand how hard it is to ask for help, especially if you've never had to do this. We are also available for financial help. Although the governor has issued an order stopping evictions and foreclosures and utility and fuel shutoffs, remember that you will still be responsible for those bills when the order is lifted. If you would like help now so you do not run the bills up, please call us. We can be reached at 673-9898 or email info@sharenh.org. Thank you to everybody who's been dropping off checks and food, diapers and everything. Donations can be dropped at the Share Center. We're located off Elm Street in Milford, right behind the Milford Ambulance Facility. Monetary donations can be by check or online through our website, www.sharenh. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next for some SAU 39 updates. First, our Chair of our SAU 39 School Board, Amy Facey.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Adam. I'm going to turn this over to Adam in short order, but just a few things to say. Over the last couple of days, there's been a well-orchestrated effort put forth to develop remote learning plans for all of our children, to organize materials pickup at all of the schools. And from what I gather, it's gone very well and very smoothly. So I want to thank all of the teachers and staff and parents and students who have enabled that to happen in such a successful way. I also want to thank Adam and his team for his exceptional management of this, as well as the communication that has gone out to the entire school community. The boards will be meeting, as far as I know, and we will be meeting, I believe, at the Brick School virtually, or some folks at the Brick School, but most folks virtually. I don't know if it will be able to be live streamed. Perhaps Adam can update us on that, but we will be looking to have the meeting for whoever is at the meeting, have that taped. The Sauhegan board meeting is the next meeting coming up, and that is on Monday at 6 o'clock. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Adam.
Thanks, Amy. And sorry about my audio at the beginning of this, but so the board meeting on Monday for the Sauhegan School Board, we are planning on holding that meeting at the Brick School so that people who want to attend can, but we will be hosting many people online as well. So we're still working that out. It'll probably be somewhat of a similar format to this Zoom press conference. Next, I'm going to turn it over to John Lash, our School Nutrition Services Director, who has been working to provide food to residents of both Amherst and Mount Vernon, and done a tremendous job so far. So John Lash, go ahead.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Adam. So there was a survey that went out the last couple of days via Nixle and a couple of other methods. And the response to that has been great. We started our emergency meal delivery service yesterday. So in the 2 days, we've delivered over 100 meals to families in Amherst and Mount Vernon. I should note that meal service is not available only for students that qualify for free or reduced meals. It's available to any child living in Amherst or Mount Vernon, 18 or under. They don't have to be enrolled in any of the SAU 39 schools. If they're a resident of those two towns, we can deliver meals to them. So what we deliver is a nutritionally balanced lunch for the day. So today is Wednesday. We delivered Wednesday's lunch today and also Thursday's breakfast. So we're not by federal law allowed to deliver for the entire week. We deliver one day at a time. So I've been out making deliveries, and we've had some great volunteers as well helping out, which brings me to a request. If there are any other people that would like to help volunteer with this, it would be really fantastic to really help get the food out faster and more efficiently. So that's great. Please fill out the survey. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. You can call me at the school, or my email is jlash@sprise, sprise.com. We'd be glad to help. Thanks very much.
Thank you, John. Next, Dr. Lisa Femiyaho talking about our special services programs. Lisa.
Hi, I just want to let everyone know the teams from specialized programs have been working collaboratively with all the classroom teachers and staff at all the schools to really provide some comprehensive plans and procedures for our students with high intensity needs. Part of those plans will be ensuring delivery of the services remotely to students from the specialized teams, with daily contact happening every day for those students that they're familiar with the staff that they've been working with for over the past year at the school. We're also providing some additional training to parents through those remote learning opportunities, so parents can also engage with their children at home and be able to possibly support some of the programming that we're sending and providing materials for that family to work with their child on. Also to note, our social workers across the districts are working really hard to put some resources together for parents and children. They will be providing them starting on Monday. There's more to come on how to access those, but they will be providing some very important resources for families and children during this challenging time. And that's it. We really appreciate the flexibility. And if there's any questions or concerns, please email me.
Thank you, Dr. Femia Ho. Next, we're going to hear from each of our schools on some of the preparations they've made, starting with Clark Wilkins Elementary School. Anna Peril.
Good evening. So first, John and I are going to kind of tag team again, and I think it speaks to the effort of collaboration between all of the schools. So just a little bit about preparedness. I really can't say enough about the dedicated, hardworking staff that we have. They have been working day and night in preparation for the learning that's going to be happening. So they have continued to work on training, and I would say we are doing daily Zooms for additional training. Kathleen Murphy and Christine Landworld continue to work with the teachers. The teams are collaborating. They've been here most of the day also. And as we've said all this time, our number one goal right now is to get the teachers connected with the students, and we've already seen a lot of videos going out to families. Just a little bit about the preparedness for resources. We have 681 students. Right before the video, we had less than 5 people that have not come up to pick up resources, and we are reaching out to make sure that everybody is prepared with technology and the resources. And just that effort from everybody was unbelievable. So I think John wants to speak about his preparedness and training also.
Hi, everybody. Welcome from Mount Vernon Village School. Again, yes, I would echo the same thing as Anna. Our staffs got together on Monday, and even some followed through on Tuesday. Have quite a dedicated professional group of people that we're very fortunate to have in Amherst and Mount Vernon. They are missing the children terribly and can't wait to start working with them and connecting with them. The PD has been incredible, as Anna pointed out, as well as our preparation and work. Teachers have been working tirelessly. Some students have actually already logged into their Google Classrooms and started connecting with one another as well as with the staff, which has been very exciting. And it's been fun as an administrator, to be honest with you, just starting to see what they're putting up there and getting ready for your students. The packets have all been successfully distributed and sent home. Thank you, Mount Vernon, for that ease transition. And also just remind you about patience with us as we continue with this process. We're looking to, again, as Anna mentioned, and we've been telling you before, we'll launch everything tomorrow, Thursday, for students to access programming. It'll be a little slow start, I'm sure, as we get used to it, as the students get used to it, and obviously you get used to this new format for education from the Amherst Mount Vernon districts, as well as Sauhegan. I apologize. Student connections is, of course, vital to us, as well as tech support. You'll be hearing, I'm sure, at this point, if not within the next 24 hours, how our tech support will lay out for you as a family if you should need anything from us and how you can go about getting that support. We will have it for you as well as for our staff. And of course, always reach out to us by email. Your teacher would probably be priority or your primary go-to. And then of course, us as principals, we'd like to hear from you if you're having concerns and haven't heard from the teacher or have something more pressing to get to us. And as always, don't forget, we do love all of our students, miss them terribly already. And we will get through this together. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you. Dr. Bernasconi from the middle school.
Hello, everyone. First, just really echoing everyone else's sentiments, a real huge thank you to our whole community of learners, so all of our staff as well as all of our families. The past 2 days have been amazing as a community to watch everyone come together and help deliver supplies to students to make sure that all of our learners are ready to go in this new environment and really be successful. So thank you so much to our whole community for really being supportive of us during this process as we work to make sure we're meeting the needs of all of your students. So we will, the email just went out from Amherst Middle School, and it's also posted on our Facebook page for you and our school website about expectations in the coming days and week, what that will look like. So first, there's a ton of information in there, so apologize for the length of the message, but we hope that it's really helpful as a reference for you in this time going forward. We are still working on taking attendance. So if your child is sick and unable to participate in the learning for the day, that's what we're asking you to submit to us via a form, which is linked in that message. That information will go to our nurses and be treated as confidential, but will help us just make sure we're meeting the needs of our learners each day. Other than that, attendance will be taken more along the lines of our anchoring adult. So every student in the building has been assigned an adult that they have a relationship with in the building. That anchoring adult will be reaching out to students this week and to families and following up via email. So students should expect to hear from them if they haven't already by Friday of this week. That's really going to be a point person and a connection person throughout this whole process, because it is really about all of that connectedness and relationship. Those anchoring adults are going to be checking in twice weekly and really making sure those voice-to-voice connections to make sure that students are engaged and moving forward in their learning. And so that will be our accountability piece of this process. Our learning for the next couple of days, just to set the stage a little bit for you, the next couple of days this week, Thursday and Friday, are really about making connections with kids, making sure that students are able to log on, get up and running, that they can access Google Classroom. Teachers are scheduling some video calls with students, things like that, to really help build that sense of community. That is our #1 goal in this process, is to make sure that those relationships and that sense of community are maintained for our students. There'll be some scavenger hunts, I think, that I've already heard out there and things like that, again, to help students familiarize themselves with this whole learning process. On Monday, our instruction begins in earnest. For our core classes, you can expect that there will be a self-paced instruction piece on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays each week, where teachers will have videos and resources posted along with the learning plan for the day for students to work on at their pace, so that it really meets the diverse needs of families during this time and helps work within the family schedule. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our live days, we're calling them, where teachers will have live office hours where they'll be available to answer questions in real time, as well as they may meet with small groups of students or a class, and teachers will be communicating more about those expectations going forward. Again, it's a lot of information to process in the email, but please know we're here to help you every step of the way. Don't be shy about reaching out if you need assistance or if you have any concerns. Again, we're ready to go and looking forward to supporting both you and your students throughout this whole process. Thanks. Back to you, Adam.
Thanks, Dr. Bernasconi. Next from the high school, Bill Hagan.
Good afternoon to all of our viewers, and especially from the staff at Souhegan High School. I've been asked to convey a hello to all of the students that are joining us this afternoon, because after all, this is all about you folks, and our staff wants you to know they're ready and they're enthusiastic and excited to get back to work with you. As has been said, our primary goal in kicking off of this new virtual teaching world is really going to be to establish connections with every student. It is important that we're connecting with everyone. So moms and dads and guardians at home and students, please, you want to be part of this process. This is going to be something new, a bit of an adventure for all of us. And together, I know we can be very successful with this. We are going to, as other principals have said, we're going to start a little bit slowly, get everybody involved, make some of the initial assignments fun, to get a sense of how the platforms are working for teachers and how students are engaging in those platforms. And so we're going to ramp this up over time. Some important learning will happen between now and whenever we come back to the classroom. But again, we want to, one, maintain good connections with our kids, and two, begin at a pace that everybody can participate with us in. Yesterday, the high school sent out a fairly comprehensive, what I'm going to call the virtual handbook for the time being. In it is just about every area that you may have a question on right now in terms of what are the expectations for online learning? What are the expectations for advisory? What are the expectations for some of the special projects like Senior Project and the Junior Research Project and Division I exhibition? Some of those questions are clearly answered here. For example, just the other day, students should have received a letter from Kathy and Ryan regarding where we're going, specifically with senior project over the next month. Things like junior research project Division 1, there are still some questions on. Things like attendance are clearly laid out in the on one of the pages on what our expectations for attendance are. And again, as has already been said, attendance is really going to be about ensuring that our students are engaging in this process, because that's very important. And so the teachers will be reaching out and kind of keeping a sense of the students that are engaging in some of the live exchanges that are going on. But I do encourage everybody, it was sent out both to the students in their student emails, parents to you in your emails. It's also posted on the school website. I know that working together, all of us having, especially as we start this off, having a degree of patience with this, because it is new for everyone. And so I think with all of that in mind, I do think this can be a very valuable experience for us all. So thank you, and good luck to us all. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you all. I just have a few comments and things to add. First, I am so incredibly proud of our teachers, our staff members, our food service workers, and our administrators. Over the last couple of days, what is the most significant curveball we could throw to our folks? School is going to completely change how it looks and how it works. Our staff and faculty have just responded admirably. They have learned new technology tools, they've learned different instructional methods, and they've done all of that with a tremendous attitude. I posted pictures yesterday of our faculty in their preparation time, and it just was remarkable to walk around and hear how positive, how encouraging, and how supportive they were of one another and of this process that we're going through. And so just so proud of all of our staff. Next, I want to mention tomorrow's the go live date for remote instruction. Our principals have mentioned that. We've mentioned that in our materials home, but tomorrow is the first day of school from home. It's going to take a while for us to get it right. It's going to take a while for us to build our proficiency and become at the place where we want to be, where we feel like we're doing it the best way we can. So I think it's important for our teachers to hear, our students to know, and our parents to understand that we're going to get better at this with time, and to please be patient with us. Regarding tech support, an update regarding tech support, if you have needs for your computers that we've sent home with you or that you're using to access schoolwork, you can contact us. And the email address is remotesupport@sau39.org. So again, remotesupport@sau39.org. Please do not show up at the Brick School without an appointment. If we need you to come in, we'll ask you to come in, and we'll have a procedure in place to support you as you arrive to minimize person-to-person contact. But the bottom line is we're going to help anyone who needs help with their computer needs. There's also a group of volunteers in town. I believe there's a Facebook group about remote support during this time that's made up of volunteers in the community, and we support and encourage people to become a part of that group who have some technology related skills. For those who have issues with internet access, I again want to mention the Comcast Internet Essentials program that provides free, during this time, free internet for low-income families that need help. Usually I think it's something like $10 a month, but it's been waived during this time. And thank you to the parents. Over the last couple of days, the pickup process at our schools has been tremendous because of the patience you've demonstrated and your helpful spirit. Thank you for that. Now, it's remarkable to us how few parents have not been able to be through the schools. We have virtually almost everybody that's been through our schools and to pick up the materials that we need during this time. Everybody's wondering, how long are we going to be out of school? And there, I will tell you, there is a wide range of estimates for that. We don't know. We sincerely are not sure. Nobody knows. We as a school system are preparing as if we may not be able to come back. We hope that's not the case. We desperately want our students back in our buildings, but we're not looking at these next few weeks and months as a vacation or a change. We're going to do the best job we can to provide a quality, rigorous education for our students with whatever means we have available. And there are some silver linings from this process. We know we're going to learn some things. We're going to become more proficient at things that maybe we hadn't had a chance to grow in before, and we're going to make the best of it. You can be rest assured of that. We have tremendous, tremendous people in our school system. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to participate in this process. There are some questions that are still open in the Q&A. So what I'm going to do is end the official session, but leave the Zoom meeting open so that a few of us can answer some of these questions before we wrap up. So thanks to all of our panelists for taking time out of their day to participate with us today, and take care of your friends, yourself, your family, and your neighbors. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.